Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks, and this is part two. I thought I'd attempt to do this S. And like I said in the first video, the leading edge on this side doesn't matter. So we're going to ungroup these items. So now if we ungroup them, I don't know what happened there. And then we kind of need to follow the curvature of the S. And that should be relatively easy, but let's take our S, see if I can't grab an S. Tell you what we knew, we nudge that out of the way, nudge our S out of the way and put this back. And then what I'm thinking about doing is left click, right click, and actually go to effects and contour. And let's contour to the outside 0.5, see if that works. Way too big. You never know how big the 0.2. Let's go 0.1. So what's going to happen is going to give me a kind of a guideline. I actually backed up and then hit 0.1. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to Object, break the contour apart, and bring our contour over. So I want to kind of follow this shape. I'm not worried about the S, the original S right now. And I don't know of any other way to do this except for manually. So we've got these all broken apart. I think you're just gonna have to hold down the control button, and you could actually even move it up a little bit, get it up into there. What we want to do is kind of mimic the S and maybe put that node right there on top of the S. That'll work. And then just, if you hold down the control button, the line should stay. Or if you've got a good hand, yeah, this is going to work, I think. Because you're going to use nodes from each one to gain to the next one. I'm not using the control button right now. And you really can't have that one in the middle. Let me see what the original looks like. Yeah, see how they kind of blocked it off because that one's going to get in the way. And then we could take, with the shape tool, take that node right there and put it there. Take that node and put it there. And I'm moving nodes, which I shouldn't do. Let me back up here. Let me take the pick tool and then grab that node right there and have it go to that line. And this is where you'd probably want to use the control button so you don't do what I just did and have it move down. It's just a little bit because you've got to kind of start moving it. And I know I moved that one up. And we can actually line and distribute these things after we do this. Get them all perfect. I'm going to call that good. So if I don't like that one right there, put it there. There we go. And it's not exactly what they had. But now I'm going to take my line away and I'm going to fill that in. And then I'm going to grab this and Control G and actually make it white. Well, it doesn't look very white. And then nudge this back over and take our object and intersect. Now here's kind of the key like we did in the previous video. From here on, you don't want to move that without nudging it. And let's see if we can't grab just the S. Well, what we're going to do, I don't really know that it worked. Yeah, I must have had 2 copies. Let me back up here. I must have had 2 copies of these. There we go. We do. So whenever you have a problem, sometimes think about that you might have 2. When something doesn't work, it might be because you have 2 copies. So let's group that. Make it white. There we go. I'm going to move the S in. I should have nudged it. Tell you what, I'm going to look at it in black for a second. And because they're grouped together, I can do this. And for the video, that looks good enough. But now I'm going to turn these white, the outline white, and grab all this and now intersect it. And then nudge that out of the way. And if you remember from the previous video, now we're going to make all these, the outline black. I must not have them all. And we can do the, and I'm a little bit short here. So you want to make sure your things are longer. Then just get the Smart Fill tool and fill that in and nudge it over. Now we're a little bit longer than the previous P, but you get the idea. And really you just have to kind of play with it. And that doesn't look half bad. I would maybe conform this shape a little bit more of the S. And, you know, what to do here. Should I put this one further back in? Let's just move that one back. That looks pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as the original. I really know how they really do that. And it would be so much easier if I had the exact font to kind of follow along. Now, like I said, we've got a leading edge that's not very close, but take the 3-point line curve and go from our last to our next, and then just kind of make that turn. And then just take your shape tool, and we should be able to ungroup all this. Whenever you can't click on something because it's grouped together, and when you do intersect, it does group it together. So now we can just kind of follow that S. And where we were short. Anyway, that looks pretty cool. I hope that helped them a little bit, and thank you for watching.